In this final tutorial, we're going to explore some edge treatments and also make our lamp look a little bit more realistic with some appearance features. So in this tutorial, I'm going to really encourage you to play around a little bit and experiment, because what we're really dealing with here is we're dealing with aesthetics. And what I think looks good, you might not like, and you might want to do things a little bit differently. But in any case, I'm just going to show you a few more features of this software. So for example, in the example, both the physical example and the fusion example, you saw that I had these sort of rounded edges on it. That's a fillet feature. Having said that, you can actually see in here, fillet is quite common. That's where we're putting a rounded edge on something. But you can also have chamfers as well, where you're putting a straight edge on. You can see there's a keyboard shortcut there. I'm just going to start with these two top edges here, and I'm going to just try a 15mm round over on that. Press OK, and then I can perhaps orbit around to have a look and see if I like the look of that. And if I just press Escape, rather than sort of make more fillets, I can actually just go down here to my timeline, left click on my fillet, right click, edit feature. Then I can go in and I can actually just start to actually add to. I don't want that. You might need to orbit around a little bit. But like I said, it's up to you. And then I can just type in there, the 15. It's up to you to sort of play around with this and see what you like and what you want to do. With the power of editing, I've gone ahead and added some more fillets. A new keyboard shortcut, and this one is the letter A. And you'll see up comes an appearance menu. Now this is a real area that you can play around with. Now when you go in here for the first time, I'm just going to minimize that. It's going to look more like this, where you have all these little menus down here. You've got, obviously the ones that we're going to be playing around with are wood and wood solid. And also, because if you're in here for the first time, you may need to download some of these. So you'll see here, some of these I've already downloaded, but there's others here, before you can actually use them, you just need to download them to your computer. They don't take that long. Now there's a few different ways we can apply appearance to our project. And I'll go through a few options and just some things that you can edit and play around with. But ultimately, like I said before, it's really very much up to you. So for example, let's say I just select everything. So it might go, top, press my shift key, bottom, and then say, for example, I can get cherry here, and I can just drag it over there, and you'll see it's applied it to the complete project. To me, that doesn't look very good, and there's a few things in there that I would like to change. So instead of really doing anything much, I'm just going to undo that until that goes back to normal. Let's try again. So we'll go A for appearance. I'm going to try cherry, but instead of applying it to the entire project, I'm going to apply the cherry just to everything but basically the shade area. So let's try that instead. So I'll start with my base. So I'll select that one. Then I'll go to my lamp support, press my shift key, drag cherry over, and that's looking a little bit better, but I'm still not happy with it. One of the things that I'm not happy about is the grain direction in this is not right. Also, to some extent, the scale is not right as well. So I'm just going to show you some things that we can do here. So for example, let's select the cherry here, right click on it. We can edit it. So you can see here already, let's just change the scale down a little bit so that we get a grain pattern that looks a little bit more realistic. Now I've played around with this and I've actually found that 48 is a little bit more realistic, but we've still got this issue here where we've got this grain going vertically where it would normally go horizontally. So let's try rotation. Obviously you can play around with the slider here, but obviously somewhere around about 90 odd is going to look right for these components. but it's not right on this one now, and it's not right here as well. So we can go done and be done with it. But what we can do is we can actually put another version of Cherry up here, and we can actually have two versions of it. So this one we can edit, and we can have a rotation on this one of 0, and so if we go done, and then on this one, if we go into edit, we've got a rotation of 90. So then what I can do is I can then drag this one onto, that's now looking better. Okay. But again, let's go into edit and change this to 48. That's looking more realistic. So this is where we can now go through and select individual components. You can either drag it on out here, or you can drag it onto the original pieces over here. So if we go to lamp support, that's looking more realistic. Whereas on these pieces here, the sub arms, all right, so that's looking good now. Then finally what we can do here is we can try something different, like maybe something like an oak. But again, look, I'm going to encourage you to play around with this. Just again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to go shade top, press my shift key, and then I'm going to drag oak onto that. And that's looking reasonable for the real world. The only thing is though, again, in the real world, we're going to have this veneer going vertically. So we can go in here, right click, edit, and try rotate and just see what it looks like. That's more realistic for the real world. Again, it's probably worth just playing around with the scale as well, just to get something that looks a bit more realistic. That's pretty good.